In one sense, it was an idea that it's perhaps an anti-cinematic idea, which is to have a man talking for a full feature film. But in this case, I wanted more to be the film of Alcides' film rather than my film. And when I cut and I added elements of fiction and animation, it's just in order to weave all the 40 hours of interviews that I shot over a year. But the idea was that it would be an inner monologue so that then the poem would have an impact in the end. I shot him against a black screen. At that time, I had an accident and I couldn't walk for almost 6 months. So I decided I have to do a film that I can shoot at home, basically. So yeah, it was shot in the same place where I edit. And then I went out to shoot some shots that actually, this is, if we can play the clip, I'm going to show you some of the image manipulation in the film. Because we shoot without permits and we have to manipulate the images afterwards. I filmed the American flag on the American embassy and I cut it and composited it onto the ship to create it. Because I don't like things in a pure documentary state. It has to be, for me, it's very important that there is a manipulation in the image. Here I added a Fidel Castro billboard, which was more on the left side, out of the frame, but in this case I joined them together. And this image, which is a low-resolution image, I turned it into a moving newspaper printed image. This I shot without a permit at the National Theater in Havana, and then what I did is I added Rafael Alcides here and the Fidel Castro picture in the back. And all the paintings that appear in the film are by Antonio Iris, most of them. So what I did in this case is I joined 3 of the paintings together. There is a lot of collage in the film. And I created an image that is the one you're going to see right now, which has all the 3 elements combined. Another of Antonia's paintings, and in here I added a low-resolution image of the beatings during the Mariel boat lift. And even in the interviews, there's always intervention in the image. Here in the back, I added some of Antonia Iris' monsters, here out of focus in the background. Anyway, just to give you an idea of how the film is put together, we can turn on the light. This is my first documentary. Actually, I never did a documentary before, but at the beginning I just wanted to have a record of his testimony. Because I come from the world of fiction, I always found him fascinating, the way he speaks, the way he moves his arms. He's almost more like an actor he has that histrionic quality about him, and also his ideas, the fact that he has no filters. To me is very appealing, because I'm always attracted to characters that are misfits, because they say what they think, regardless of the consequences. When we tried to do a screening in Havana, there was a police raid and state security officers blocking the way. We've kept trying to do clandestine screenings, but we cannot, of course, send a text message or anything that people will be able to trace us as to when it's going to happen. It's very tricky, because many film festivals have a certain profile, and the tricky thing, which is even scarier, that the censorship operates not only in Cuba but outside of Cuba. For example, this film was accepted at the Mar del Plata Film Festival in Argentina. It was accepted, and 1 month later we had this event with the police in Cuba, and then the film was mysteriously removed from the program. They said they no longer wanted it because it was not in the right format, and I said, but there's still 1 month left for the festival, we can send it in the format you're requesting, and they shut down communications. So it's very disturbing, but many cultural institutions that have ties to the Cuban cultural scene are careful about how they move. The film was also rejected from the Havana Film Festival in Havana, and was rejected also from the Miami Film Festival. Yeah. And that's because there's something that has created a lot of animosity sometimes with the film when Alcides says he's still a socialist, because being a socialist is considered a bad word in many places.
They are not allowed to think differently.
And I believe in socialism. I believe in the Nordic models of Sweden. There is a way. They're perfect, but so far is the things that interest me the most.
I live in Canada.
Yeah.
And Canada is the closest you can get to socialism. That's there. That's Canadian.
But that the fact also that Alcides talks about Che Guevara, that he still respects, that has created also a lot of problems. But to me it's very important, something that a documentary filmmaker once said, that never make a film about a subject matter that you love or hate, otherwise it becomes a propaganda film. Only make the film if there are enough contradictions. And that's what I really like about Alcides, all the contradictions, and that he's willing to share them.
And my second question is just related to all this, sorry. Is how do you feel about the youth right now in Cuba? Like, I grew up without hope, and it's not that the new generations don't want to get involved in the politics. They just find it so dirty and so disgusting that they just grew up with that code. They think nothing's gonna change. So
and they want to leave the country.
Yeah, they just grasp whatever.
I don't know if you noticed
Okay, that's it.
No, yes, it's happening. There's no ideology whatsoever, at least not much. What you see mostly in the newer generations is that. And but even more shocking, what I feel as a filmmaker is that I lived actually here for almost 10 years because I had 2 scholarships in New York. And when I went back to Cuba, everybody said I was crazy. But the truth is, I'm not interested in making commercial films. And Cuba can dedicate more time to actually spend time making films, whether here I will have to do it on weekends, if I'm lucky. And I felt that those stories need to be made in Cuba, first of all. That's the most important thing. So to me, it's just it's the only way I can sleep at ease with myself at night, knowing that I'm doing exactly what I want and that I can have complete control of, which is a good thing. I'm not into politics, because otherwise I would be a dictator. But doing films, experimenting within a frame of the screen, that to me, I dedicate my life for this. I don't make films to make a living. I live for making films.
Someone else?
Are you willing to share any information about the film you're working on now?
Yes, I'm actually, I was going to ask you if you can stay for 5 minutes, because I'm shooting a scene for the new movie right now. I'm shooting the back of your head, because I'm going to place an actor here talking on the podium. It's a science fiction film about human genetic engineering, an experiment that Fidel Castro does in the later years of his life to build a new man to save socialism. And of course, the experiment goes wrong, and we jump into an alternative reality with all these people that become society rejects, join forces and create an anarchist band that starts to overthrow the regime. So in the thing we're going to shoot right now, he's going to be playing an American activist who's going to be trying to prevent an invasion to Cuba, because there is an American scientist who teamed up with Fidel Castro to create this experiment.
I don't know. I guess it would be like this. I'm not sure. Yeah. Recording. You want me to ask you? Something like this.
Hello. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, great.
Tell me when.
And whenever you're ready.